AI that talks to AI that acts. That is what is innovation at Astrikos.
How Astrikos is addressing these challenges?
Connecting data from legacy systems, like the old protocols. The studio platform, we call it studio, is a platform where you can build intelligent systems.
Hello, tech visionaries. I am Madhura, and welcome to Astrivoice, where vision meets voice. Today, we are bringing you a conversation with the leader who is shaping the future through innovation, expertise, and strategic thinking. Our guest has been instrumental in driving meaningful transformation, creating impact with the technological landscape. Today, we are honored to host Chandrashekar S K, better recognized across the organization as CSK.
Hello, Mr. Chandrashekar.
Hi, Madhura.
Uh, Everyone calls you as CSK, right?
Yes.
Is there any connection between Chennai Super Kings or anything?
Absolutely not.
We can know the backstory of that?
Yes, definitely. So it's actually a very long story, right? So CSK is like back in the days when I started my career and working in an MNC, right? And there people had hard time calling me as Chandrasekhar.
Okay.
So out of the sheer need of saving my respect for my name, I named myself as CSK, which was easier for everyone else to pronounce. So that's how it is CSK. And in fact, after this IPL fiasco, again, with the CSK and I've been bombarded this question time and again, so yes, absolutely no connection. It's like, in fact, maybe I was considering once to, kind of have my name, kind of branded so that, people don't reuse it. So.
Okay. We got to know that the story behind your name, CSK. So, we may know that which team is your favorite, or you have interest in playing cricket, kind of.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yes, not much into cricket, of course, but yes, watching cricket is for sure. Who not? I'm an Indian, right? So CSK obviously is my favorite team, right? CSK along with RCB for the right reason. So yes, that's apart, not just cricket, but more into badminton and some of the indoor gaming stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm into.
Okay. What does innovation means in the organization Astrikos?
So I've been driven by the intersection of physical systems and digital efficiency. Right? The intersection of this leads to beautiful, results. Right? So the idea to make smart cities and industries more safer, more efficient, and most importantly, resilient. Right? So these are the problems that we discuss day in and day out, and having as an impactful, and a challenge like this, I don't think which is anything is more important or challenging than making this, come true. So that is what is innovation at Astrikos, to solving these problems which impact broader society, right? The infrastructure which is a backbone of the society. So that is what is innovation at Astrikos.
What are the key focus areas you're focusing on right?
So at Astrikos, maybe it's not one project. Over the journey of when we have executed multiple projects in for smart cities, for data centers, right? So the journey started from just monitoring, efficient monitoring, and how can we make life of a facility manager or a data center administrator life easier. So that is where it's the journey started. But then now it's just not about just any latest technology gadget adoption, but it's about solving the real problems. Real problems, as in, it's not about using the fancy technologies, but actually solving real problems, right? So real problems, as in making sure, when you are making a product or a platform for a particular user, the journey is successful, it's measured from in terms of how it makes the life easy for a person who is monitoring an infrastructure or an administrator to make key informed decisions. So that is been is the focus area. Yeah. So mainly that is the thing that we are working on.
So what are the major challenges in technology and operation the organizations are facing today?
So it's the at the fundamentally when we talk about the operational technology, right? It's just not no longer a technology gatekeeper or an enterprise monitoring software, right? The journey is more of and also not about the fancy AI buzzword we have AI in as a feature as part of the platform, but it is more like how AI can contribute as the central nervous system, okay, which is actually taking key decisions and helping key people to take the right decisions. Right? So that is the challenge where making the AI the core part of the platform itself, right? And in every decision making, right? And from validation to the evaluation of the actions, right? So that's where the major challenge is on the coming days together, right? So integrating that and making that as a central part of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why traditional methods are no longer sufficient?
So in the advent of the new technology adaptations, right? Moving beyond traditional reports or dashboards, static dashboards, and also the data silos, right? So these are the things we have moved beyond, right? And so having just the traditional looking, gazing through thousands of dashboards is no longer a viable option, right? When the scale of the infrastructure is quadrupling, right? And that time, these kind of, where I have to go and seek information, which is hidden beneath. It is available in some dashboard, but which dashboard and all these kind of intelligence, which is there hidden to be seen, right? So this brings up a large turnaround time. Okay, so that's the reason the traditional techniques are no way comparable. What the modern technologies can do, how easily with just a question away you can get what you want, right? So that's the technology empowerment that we're looking for.
Okay. This is highly informative, sir. How Astrikos is addressing these challenges?
So at Astrikos, we are creating the data which is in silos, right? We are making cohesive systems which are integrating data from legacy systems and the modern technologies, the ERPs or the IT technology, right? So that amalgamation is gives us more insights into the data, the intelligence coming out of the this cohesion, right? So that is actually kind of the core part of the decision making that we are building in the platform, the intelligent layer, right? So connecting data from legacy systems, the old protocols, to integrating the modern AI stack, right? Modern machine learning algorithms with the beauty of AI, and that's what our platform is doing, right? So that's how we are trying to solve it at Astrikos.
Can we know a bit about our platform?
Yes, of course. So if I have to say, I mean, it's a long story again, but if I have to tell it in a nutshell, right? The Astrikos platform has been evolved over the years. Okay, so from just to basic monitoring of some telemetry data to building intelligent layers and then having machine learning models along with that. And now with the advent of agentic AI, right? So our studio platform, we call it the studio, is a platform where you can build intelligent systems, right? So right from having multiple modules to from connecting the data to configuring your LLMs to kind of talk to your data and in a very natural flow, like natural language. So just the way we are talking, right? So that's how you can talk to your data, and that's the beauty, and that's the problem we are trying to solve at a large scale. Right? So
what are the role of AI, data, and intelligence in driving the outcome?
Okay. So the biggest silos, if you see in the world of data, is right. Multiple data. Like today, enterprises have data in vast amount, but they are in their own silos. Right? And getting that right context and integrating with the right data, right? So that's where the AI plays a very good role, where the taking the data, making good sense out of that data, contextualizing that, right? Where AI does its part, and then adding the layer of the intelligence through the help of machine learning, or making dynamic dashboards, or through the help of AI, making that data more accessible. Right? So that's where this journey of stitching this story together, that plays a very meaningful role in actually getting some meaningful business outcomes.
How that dynamic dashboards helps us in driving the data's outcomes?
Right, good question. In fact, in SIA, we have out of the multiple product suites that we have, one of the key feature of our platform is kind of have that capability to have dynamic dashboards, right? From the era of where the dashboards earlier were manually configured, and someone you had to, even if the decision maker wanted to get into some data insight, he used to call his product team, or guys, I want such a dashboard. But today what we have done is kind of as part of the platform, we can just plug in the data, plug in the context, and answer a couple of questions, and you have dynamic dashboards, dashboards that you never know might give you such insights which were hiding behind the behind the scenes. So that kind of capability today is possible, and that's what we are trying to do here at Astrikos.
This is so insightful to know what is dynamic dashboards actually is. So what are the emerging trends that are happening right now?
So we have over the last couple of years, right? The systems more than from AI that talks to AI that acts. That's where the journey is happening right now. So as we speak, there are multiple technologies that are getting built, which are working on this fundamental concept, where as of today, right, the technologies are basically need the human in the loop, right? Human in the loop. So basically, where uh, every action that a system wants to take, there is a kind of a prompt, right? So moving away from that to a journey where it's an autonomous, and just not autonomous, but it is, the decisions are trustworthy, meaningful, right? And that should be realistic. So that's the whole journey where the trends are moving from, as I said, AI that talks to AI that acts. So that's what it is.
AI that talks to AI that acts.
Yes.
What are the long-term company innovation visions?
So at Astrikos, so when we talk about innovation or the vision, right? So it's not like building an AI project and then just apply everywhere, right? It is more of identifying the problem and identifying whether AI is which mostly is, but identifying the applicability of the technology and solving the problem first. So having the problem first approach is the key, right? So whether it is AI or whether it is any innovation that we talk about, the primary focus is kind of using these tools, right? Using the emerging technologies, right, to solve the real business, to solve and get the real business outcomes, right? With the as I said earlier, right? So it's taking from the legacy systems, applying the intelligent layer with the modern technologies, right? And solving the real problem outcomes. So that has always been the core vision of the company, and that will stay, the same. So solving business outcomes
Mm.
using modern technologies and solutions.
Perfect, sir. Okay. What are the desired impact on industries?
So whether you take the case of industries or smart cities or smart data centers that we deal with, right? So it's like more than like having those right sensors in place, right?
Mm.
Making sense of those sensor data, right? Just not for the sake of adding those, but really making cities smart, not just the label, but actually making them smart. So how do you make them smart, right? You take the data, you have the intelligence on working on top of it, right? And you build the public trust and make key decisions, solving complex problems and present it in a very easily human understandable way. And this happening in a very seamless with the machine and humans, right? Working together to solve the larger picture, right? Which impacts the public, right? So that's what is the the real impact that we want to see on the industries or the smart cities.
Oh, makes sense, sir. This makes sense. How do you gather ideas to build the features?
Interesting question. So at Astrikos, we are actually, even though we are working in different departments, right? But on a regular basis, we do sync up with different teams, like, whether it is the pre-sales team led by Mr. Suresh Bulusu sir, or it's like, whether we are interacting with the delivery operations, like, headed by Mr. Sunil and Ashwin, right? So we and again working with the product team with led by Mr. Ali, right? So we do kind of take feedbacks from the market, like what's happening on the real pulse of the market, the industries, right? So we don't want to build something for the sake of building technology or integrating modern features into the technology, but more of an impactful features which actually solves the problems at the ground reality. So even for that matter, like whenever we do have regular sync ups, right? Where even our CEO, Mr. Chinmay, right? So we do have a lot of brainstorming sessions, right? There could be sometimes it's like whether it's not about being right or wrong, but it is like eventually agreeing to a common kind of solution, right? And that's where the beautiful we have been able to solve so far, like where taking inputs from multiple departments cohesively and filtering what actually goes into out of the noise, but shortlisting and filtering what really solves the problem at the core reality, right? So that's how the churning of ideas takes place at Astrikos.
What are the impacts of Astrikos in various industries?
So impact as in like for you mean like the impact by the Astrikos platform? Yes. So so before let's suppose the industries that we were dealing with right now when we're talking about whether it is the data centers, whether it is the smart cities or industry 4.0 or like so the major challenge, as I mentioned earlier, it was more of the data silos, right? So having vast amount of data, good potential for harvesting that data into intelligence, right? Which the machines are good at, right? Humans are good at taking key decisions, right? Now the story of taking the best of both the worlds, right? The human reasoning and the data intelligence, right? That's where the Astrikos platform strives to kind of unify this, right? And solving these key problems, right? Rather than creating creating a command center which which floods you with a lot of alerts using AI to kind of declutter the noise, right? And giving you just the meaningful alerts or the insights that is worth looking into, right? So that is the problem which Astrikos has created an impact and solving in multiple areas, right? Whether it is saving energy, whether it is solving the or optimizing on the traffic congestion, right? Or whether it is solving about the the water, the improvement of the water treatment distribution or the operations, right? or simple data center for that matter, right? So data center being the power guzzler, with more and more AI and the new technologies, right? So the data center has become the central focal point, and it is one of the key power driving system. So there, we try to the Astrikos has created an impact in multiple places by saving the energy to vast amount. So that's how Astrikos looks at the impact.
So we have come to an end of our discussion, sir. So do you have any key takeaways for our audience?
I think there are many, but to tell a few, let's don't wait for the perfect technology or the perfect time to market. Right? Start small, right? I think the future belongs to the organizations that have AI at their core, right? Not just as an afterthought, but AI at the core, right? So start small, have a start with high impact ideas, right? And let data be your guiding light for the transformation.
Thank you for your time for us, sir.
Thanks, Madhura, and thanks, team, for this wonderful interaction. Loved every bit of it. So yeah, thanks for this.